Hey folks, I'm Melhorn. This video is a compilation video of all the knot tying videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you everything from the knots you need to tie a piece of fishing line onto a reel, all the way up to tying fishing line together. But first, we're going to start out with the knots that you need and can use to tie on a hook, lure, or a swivel. All right, folks, I'm going to show you how to do the simplest knot out there, and that's the clinch knot. Basically, what you're going to do is come through this eye, just like that, and you're going to start wrapping the line around itself. Pretty simple. Go here, and this is going to be a lot easier when you're holding the hook and line in your hand. Go around 4, 5, 6 times. 7's about the most you need. You've got a little loop through there. All you're going to do is go back through that loop, grab the end that comes out, pull it tight, boom, you have a clinch knot. It is the simplest knot there is to tie in the fishing world. The first one a lot of people learn. It's called a fisherman's knot, and it is a great way to secure a hook, a swivel, a lure to a line with a lot of strength, and I think you'll be able to use it the rest of your life. All right, guys, I'm going to show you real quick how to do an improved clinch knot. First thing you're going to do is go through the eye. It really doesn't matter which side you go through here. And you're going to start with that in that position there, twisting this line around itself. Boom. 4, 5, 6, 7 times. About 7 is all you need maximum. You're going to be left with a loop right down in there. What you're going to do is go back through that loop. Boom. You're going to come back through the bigger loop that you created, like that, and then you're just going to cinch down on it. It's really that simple. You can dress it up a little bit there with your finger as you go. Come in and cut your tag end off, and you're ready to go. The more you do this, the easier it's going to be. I've got it in a little setup here where it's stationary, so you can see it better. But once you got it in your hand, you mess with it, your hands kind of get used to making the motions and the turns. It'll get easier and easier. You'll mess up a few when you start out, but give it some time, you'll get the hang of it. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to snell a hook using the uni knot. I've got some high-vis Andy line. You're going to come through the eye of the hook on the side toward the point, not the other side away from the point. I'm going to come through like that. Get a good bit of line. The more you have, the easier it is. You're going to make a loop and pinch it with your fingers, just like that. Then you're going to begin wrapping that piece of free line around the shank of the hook and the line that you carried down the shank and hook. 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 7 would be about the maximum you would need. Then you're going to pull it back through the opening towards you, and then you're going to hang on to that one end and kind of pull from both ends, and then let the knot slide right up to the eye, and boom, you're set to fish. There's a lot of ways to tie a snell knot, but this is the best one for not slipping and giving you a lot of strength and being easy to tie. Again, it's the uni knot. The uni knot you'll be able to use to tie lures onto a line together. It's a very good knot. Once you learn how to use it, how to tie it, there's a lot of different places that you'll be using it as a fisherman. All right, folks, I'm going to show you how to tie a hook onto a line using a surgeon's loop. And at the end, I'm going to give you a couple of tips to keep in mind on this knot. You're going to go through the eye of the hook. Doesn't really matter which side on this knot. And basically have your line like that. What you're going to do is you're just going to come across here, wrap this around and across this side, just like that. Little tip here, make this circle kind of big. It makes it easier with a big hook, but you're basically laid across that line like that. You're going to pull that hook back through there 1 time and back through there 2 times. And then what you're going to do is just draw this knot down, and you can make the space between the eye of the hook and the knot as much as you want it or as little as you want it. And pull it down into there like that. You can see that dresses up really nice. Cinch on it, and boom, that knot is ready to go and ready to fish. You can trim off your tag line, or you could actually create a leader using this setup, tie this onto your main line, or you could put another surgeon's loop on here that you could use to put a sinker on. So, you know, you can come on up through here, add more hooks to it if you want to. This is the way, if you're on any of the head boats offshore and you got mates that are tying up rigs when you get snagged up, this is usually what they use. It's quick, it's effective, it's easy to tie. It's a great way to tie up a multi-hook rig in a hurry. The one downside to it is it's probably not the strongest knot that there is out there, but if you're playing the drag ride, you'll be in good shape. So check it out, Surgeon's Loop Knot. It's a good tool to have, one that's easy to learn to tie it on, go catch some fish. All right, folks, I'm going to show you real quick how to tie the Trilene knot, which is a very good knot, one of the strongest knots for tying line onto a hook, leader, or swivel. What you can do is come through here, through the eye of the hook, 2 times. What you want to do is protect that little loop. You're going to have 2 loops down here. You want to protect it, pinch it with your fingers, the easiest way. Then you're just going to wrap this around through here 4, 5, 6 times. Boom. Then you're going to come through both of these loops. I'm going to slide it over so you can see it. You basically have 2 loops. You're going to go through both of them. Just like that. And what I do is pull up on this line. That forces that knot to dress up on top of the hook. Boom. Dress it on down. Obviously with lighter line, you may want to lubricate that a little bit in your mouth. Cut that off. There you go, guys. That is the Trilene knot, a very, very strong and effective knot for tying on a hook, swivel, or lure. This next series of knots are used to tie fishing line together. You can use this to tie mono to mono, mono to braid, or braid to braid. Check them out. All right, folks, I'm going to show you real quickly how to tie 2 pieces of fishing line together with a blood knot. You can do this with monofilament line to braid, monofilament to monofilament, braid to braid, whatever combination you want to do. It's a good strong knot. There's a couple ways to do this one. With most of these knots, they're about the same in strength. It's just some of them are easier to tie for people. All right, so we got 2 lines here. Some paracord. It's easier to see than regular monofilament. You're going to cross them over like this, pinch that right there. You're going to begin wrapping this line around the other one about 3 or 4 times. 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to come back up through that little opening there where my finger is at. Just let that pop through there just like that. Now you're going to kind of pinch down on this part of it and do the same thing on this other side, except go in the opposite direction. 1, 2, same thing, 2, 3, 4 times. You don't have to worry about dressing this thing up really good right here because it will take care of itself. And you're going to come back through that same hole again on the opposite side of the last time. Come through there and you'll start pulling this down. Like I said, you don't have to worry about dressing it. It will dress itself as you draw this tighter and tighter. Obviously, if you're using monofilament, especially some thinner stuff, you might want to lubricate it there. And boom, you've got the blood knot. Man, that looks nice. Trim off the tag ends here, and you are ready to fish. Give this knot a shot and go catch some fish with it. All right, guys, I'm going to show you the Alberto knot. It is a great way to tie 2 pieces of fishing line together. It can be mono to mono, braid to braid, or braid to mono. Any of them will work. I've got some paracord here just for ease of visibility to show you how to do this. Start out these lines. Start out with this one. Bend it over just like that. You're going to take your other one. You're going to come up through here. And what you're going to begin doing is wrapping down. Pinch it right there. You're going to make about 4, 5, 6 wraps in this direction. Probably the smaller the line, the more wraps you need. Flip it around through there. And this is one knot where I suggest you kind of dress it a little bit as you go. It'll make it easier. Get down through there to that point. Then you're going to start coming back up. And this is why I think it helps to kind of dress it a little bit. You don't have to be super exacting with it, but I think this helps in the end with tightening the knot up. Right through there. And then when you get to this point, you're going to go back through that opening. Go through in this direction over to this side. This is where it helps to have a lot of line. I always tell people, don't be skimpy with your fishing line. You're going to have it at that point there. Grab it and start working it down, cinching that knot up, dressing up as you go, and then pulling on your main lines to really, really tighten it up. You can come in, snip that off, snip this off over here, and you've got a great knot there. Again, there's a lot of different ways to tie lines together. Some knot styles are easier for people to tie. Some of them they like better. Some of them they like the way it casts better. So give this one a try, see if it works for you, and go catch some fish. All right, guys, I'm going to show you real quickly how to tie the Albright knot. This is a great knot for tying two pieces of fishing line together, and they can be from different sizes and different types of line. You can do mono to mono, braid to braid, but you can also do braid to mono, braid to fluorocarbon, a lot of different variations there. What you can do, I've got some paracord here so you can see it. It's a lot easier to see than fishing line. You're going to start with one piece. I'm going to make you just bend it over there. Take the other line, come through here. Come down to an area right in here. Let's just pinch it off right there. You're going to pinch all three lines together with your fingers. Then what you're going to do, I always say use plenty of fishing line. It makes knot tying easier. You're going to start wrapping. You're going to wrap across all three of the lines. Go 8 times. Some people say at least go 8. Some people say go no more than 12. We're going to go up through here until we've used up most of the line. Lots of arguments over what's the strongest. Going to get to right there. Boom, you can see where that line went through. You're just going to tuck it right back through that same opening right there. Poof. Okay, you can start pulling down on the main line until that dresses. Pull on this. Pull on this. Get your main lines going. As you can see, it's going to cinch down tighter and tighter and tighter. And man, that's a good looking knot there. That is going to hold, guys. Come in here with a pair of scissors, cut off your tag ends. It's going to be a lot sexier on a piece of fishing line. Man, there you go. Good looking knot. You can cast with it. Very nice job there. All right, guys, we're going to use the uni knot to tie 2 different sizes of monofilament line together. Basically, you're going to start with the 2 lines parallel to each other. What you're going to do here is make a loop, just like that. Just hold it with your fingertips. And then you're going to wrap this line around the other one. Probably go around 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times. Boom. Just like that. You're going to pull it tight. It's as tight as you need to go. It'll cinch itself down here in a second. And again, with those parallel, you're going to make another wrap around both of them together. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Again, pull it tight to there. And then what you do to really get this thing tight, you just draw them both together. The more you pull, the tighter they get. Pull these ends down good and tight, make sure they're snug. Bang, trim that baby up, and you've got a double uni knot to tie 2 lines together. Now let's try it with monofilament. First thing you're going to do is get the lines parallel to each other just like this, and you can do this with a couple different ways. You can do it with mono and braid. Then what you're going to do is make a loop right around there, get those keep those parallel, and then you're going to start wrapping around both of the lines 4, 5, 6 times. Boom, get it to there. You're going to pull it tight. Don't have to come all the way tight with it yet, because you'll see what'll happen here in a second. Then we're going to take this heavier line. The clear line is a 50-pound line. The high vis line is a 30-pound monofilament. You're going to do the same thing here. Probably won't have to go as many wraps on this one. We'll go about 4 just to show you what it looks like. pull it down to there. Then what you're going to do is pull these lines together, and they will literally take care of themselves. Pow. Come here and pull down on this end just a little bit to make sure it's good and snug in both directions. Same thing in this way. Boom. There's your knot. Just come in here with a pair of scissors. Cut off your tag ends on both ends. Boom, just like that. There you go, guys. There is a double uni knot that is tying two pieces of monofilament line together. A very, very simple knot. You can trim those tag ends up as much as you want to. Now, before you use any of these knots you've already seen to tie on hooks, lures, swivels, or tie line together, first you got to put your fishing line onto your reel. These next couple of knots are going to show you what you need to make that happen. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to put fishing line on a brand new spinning reel. There's a little bit of a trick to this, so I'm going to show you some of the steps I go through. In the end, I want to have this Sea Night Manster braid on there. This is a 17-pound line. That's what I want on the top of my spool. That is what I'm going to be fishing with. But first, on the base, to fill up part of this empty spool, I've got another spool of line here that's monofilament, and I'm going to put that on first. Now what you need to do is first take a small piece of tape and put this on the spool itself. What I do is just get a very small piece and double it over. And this is really more important when you use braid. Mono's not as bad, but I put a piece of tape on there. You can also use two-way tape to do this. It's another way. It gives that line something to bite into. Make sure your bail is flipped open. If you do this long enough, you will mess that up, I guarantee it. Come through at least one of the guides, which I'm going to do there out of frame, and pull that line down here. Now what I'm going to do, this is a very small line. I'm going to tie an arbor knot, and basically what that is an overhand knot, and then a little loop that slips. What I'll do is I'll put you a video in here real quick that shows you how to tie this knot. It's a very effective knot. You need to know how to tie it. It's a simple knot to tie. I'll put a video up that shows me tying it with some larger paracord so you can see. But once you have that tied, you basically come around here, get it lined up with the tape. Now this little reel is an inexpensive reel, but it does have some nice grooves in it, which really help with putting this on. So what I'm going to do is get that on there, snug it down, get it up to that two-way tape, or just the folded over tape, and that's going to give that line something to bite into on the bottom of the spool. Now what you want to do is, one of the things you have to do with the spinning reel, flip your bail over, is make sure when you take line, you take it off the top of the spool. And what I mean by that is label up. That way it is coming off the line in the same direction that is going onto the reel. This will greatly help with your line twist. What I'm going to do is just spool on enough of this to cover up probably the bottom, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch of this spool. That way I'm not filling up the entire spool with the braided line, which is more expensive. We don't need a ton of it. That'll fill up the back of it. We'll go a little bit more. And you can always use this line. This is some 8-pound mono that I'm putting on here, so that should be good. Then what we're gonna do, come in here, cut this line, boom. We're going to tie these two lines together using a double uni knot. Guess what? I've got a video that shows how to do that too, that I will roll in here real quickly. That way you can see it, because we're dealing with some really, really small line here. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to tie two pieces of fishing line together. I'm actually using some paracord here just for visibility. I'll do it again in a second with some actual fishing line. Basically, you're going to start with the two lines parallel to each other. What you're going to do here is make a loop, just like that. Just hold it with your fingertips. And then you're going to wrap this line around the other one. Probably go around 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times. Big. Just like that. I'm going to pull it tight. It's as tight as you need to go. It'll cinch itself down here in a second. And again, with those parallel, you're going to make another wrap around both of them together. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Pull it tight to there. And then what you do to really get this thing tight, you just draw them both together. The more you pull, the tighter they get. Pull these ends down good and tight. Make sure they're snug. Bang. Trim that baby up. And you've got a double uni knot to tie 2 lines together. Get that cinched down good and tight there. You want to trim up tag ends that are hanging off. Now, with the braided line, just out of habit, because I think it's a good habit to follow, I come off the top of the spool also. Braid is not as sensitive to it. Coming off of there. And then I'm just going to load it up onto the spool. And these are precision cast rods from Catch the Fever. A really good rod. Perfect for crappie fishing, perch fishing, bluegill fishing. That's what I'm going to be using these for. Now these are rods I'll fish straight underneath the boat with. The ones that I long line with going on out the boat, I use the monofilament line. You want to keep this about, I don't know, maybe at least a 1/8 of an inch from the end of the spool. Otherwise you'll have line that'll come flying off of it. But I think I got a pretty good bit on there. Might put a little bit more. We got plenty. Let's use it. And that's it, guys. That's all it takes. This Manster line is a very affordable line. I've been trying it out this year, and very affordable. I'll put you a link where you can buy the line and get your hands on it. It's an affordable alternative to some of the more expensive braids out there. So hope this helped you. Go catch some fish. Well, there you go, guys. A comprehensive guide to all the knots out there that you need to get you out on the water fishing. Now, as you know, there are many more knots out there, but these are the ones I use regularly. And once you master these, you'll be set to go fish.